Hi everyone, Nima here at home office with another Tableau training video on web authoring. And today specifically we're looking at editing existing workbooks. So I'm going to be in the default project and I'm going to look at the profit sword rate code workbook. So in this workbook I'm really interested in this dashboard. So after reviewing this dashboard, it maybe solves some of my questions, but I might have bigger questions about the data. And instead of trying to be limited with this dashboard, I might want to create my own view. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to this edit button. And I'm going to click this edit button. And at this point, I'll be prompted to essentially the developer view of Tableau Online. This is very similar to what you see in Tableau Desktop. Now what I want is a unique sheet. So I'm going to open up this small icon here, and I'm just going to zoom in so you could see this. This icon here, which basically means a sheet, and this icon here means a dashboard. It's important to understand the relationships between sheets and dashboards. It takes a multitude of sheets connected together to create a dashboard. So what you want to start to do, of course, before you create a dashboard is develop a sheet. So we're going to create a sheet. Now we've opened up what I always like to call our canvas. So here again on the data pane, you have all your dimensions, your measures, your sets, and parameters. At this point, it's really important that you review the data white paper. So this data source white paper is stores on Kong. I believe Michael last time he edited it was on 11/28, and he'll will continue to update it. But it's important to review this before you really start messing around with the data, so you have a better understanding of what each field means and what is actually in that field. It's just good practice, and hopefully you'll be able to answer all the questions that you have. All right. So in this scenario, I'm going to see the discount segment and really understand when the pace has changed so dramatically. And let's say I'm going to do this for a certain region. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my market segment detail. I'm going to open up this hierarchy, and I'm going to take the parent segment. I'm going to move that to the rows pane. I'm going to find that all these segments are out here. The next thing is I'm going to look at it by hotel. So I'm going to look at it maybe actually by my star market. So I'm going to move that on my columns. Something I'm going to notice is that I don't have all my star markets out. I only it comes to Chicago, and I'm perhaps curious about Seattle. The reason for that is that the dashboard currently has a filter applied on the entire document, which is creating an issue. What you can do is you just need to remove that filter. At this point, I have all the properties. Next, I'm going to filter for a certain region. So I'm going to take my hotel details hierarchy, open that up, take star market, move it into filters, and then I'd be prompted with a list. At this point, I'm going to drop this out, and I am only going to select Seattle. So now I have data that only represents Seattle. Well, this is nice, but now let's add a few measures. I'm going to add my what's on the books revenue in my, I believe it's rows pane, and this might look a little funny. I'm going to go to show me, and I'm going to ask for numbers. The thing that Tableau is doing is the minute you're putting a pane or a pill into the pane, it's automatically trying to help you see the best way to look at the data visually. At this point, we want to look at things numerically and then move on to more of a visual mode. The next thing I want to look at is my same time last year revenue. So I'm going to pull out same time last year, and I'm going to move it in to rows as well. Again, Tableau wants to measure this a little bit differently. I'm going to tell it to take it back to a more basic view. And now I have my values from this year and last year. And as we said, the discount segment seems to be down. At this point, I wanted to look at it over a certain date range. So I'm going to, hey, stay date, I'm going to put a filter. And in my filter, I'm only going to keep it constrained to, let's say, 2016. Now, this is a little bit challenging to do it this way. What you can do is you can actually allow it yourself to use different filters. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to select a quarter. And this makes it a little bit easier to, to move between the quarters. You also are able to get relative dates, start dates, and you can apply it differently. So I'm going to look at Q3 to Q4. And now I want to see what the pace values are. I'm going to take revenue pace. I'm going to move it to measures. And now I can see that the discount segment is one that really seems to be pacing down. Now it's time for me to dig a little deeper. So what I'm going to do is create another filter. And we're going to take the parent segment filter. We're going to remove that, and we're only going to keep discount. And then maybe going to expand this as well. Now I'm going to remove this. Well, actually, no, maybe not. So now I have these numbers. I'm going to remove these two by just right clicking and clicking out remove. And I'm also going to remove same time last year. And I'm going to keep this back at the parent segment. Then I want to put my stay range. And I'm going to expand this to perhaps a week level. So this looks a little funny. And Tableau is recommending for us to make this a line chart. So now we can see that in Q1 we had some issues. This still looks a little funny. And what we're going to do is, instead of making it week, we're going to look at it at month. And perhaps I'm going to remove this. And I'm also going to remove this. And we could see that in the month of July through September, the discount segment pace was really down, and that's where a lot of the shortfall came. Well, I hope this has been helpful. Um, we we'd love to hear your thoughts on other case studies or scenarios that you'd like to better understand as it comes to web authoring. But thank you and for watching this video, and we invite you to continue to watch other videos to learn more about Tableau Online and the content that we have published. Bye.